Hello everyone, this is Freebie Wits and I'm taking another crack at Peglin. I previously reviewed the demo and I'm now taking a look at its full release. And that's a lie, it's not technically a full release, it's in early access as of right now. But the important thing is you can now throw money at them, and that's what I did because I absolutely love the demo. I guess this is a bit of a spoiler warning of the previous video I released about, the demo deathmatch, which demo is gonna win the purchase, and the answer is Peglin. I mean, come on. I love Peglin. Have you seen me review the demo? I absolutely enjoyed the heck out of it. And let me say, all my criticisms of the game have been mostly washed away. The thing about the aiming and such was actually fixed in an update of the demo. So the fix to the demo, the most updated demo is better than the demo that I demoed previously. Anyways, point is, I'm going to tell you all about Peglin as I know it as of right now. The base gameplay of Peglin is pretty simple. You have a ball, you shoot it, and it bounces off pegs. What makes it different, say, from Peggle is the fact that there's a purpose to it, as in, besides getting high numbers and points. Based on the little ball you drop, if it's a rock, if it's a dagger, so on and so forth, it'll deal a certain amount of damage the more pegs it bounces off to the monster you're fighting. Now, I've seen many people compare it to Slay the Spire, and it kind of is, but there are a few differences. The first is, you don't know what the enemy is going to do to begin with. If an enemy is completely new to you, you can't just tell if it's going to do 18 damage to you. You don't know if it's about to hit you with debuff. That's similar to Slay the Spire to some degree. When you fight an enemy for the first time, you don't know what its gimmick is, unless you've fought it before or look it up on the wiki, but you always at least know what its current move is going to do. You know this crow monster is going to hit you for 6 damage. You know it's going to do a buff to itself, even though you don't know what the specific buff is. You know it's going to do a debuff towards you, once again, even if you don't know what the debuff is. Enemies on this Peglin game, however, you are completely ignorant of. You can click on them, you can hover over them. It doesn't tell you what they're going to do. For all you know, this slime little creature is going to shoot you with a machine gun. For all you know, it could jump 3 spaces ahead and then hit you in the face and then jump back 3 spaces. You don't actually know until they actually do it. Now, I wouldn't say this is specifically a complaint, it's just something different from Slay the Spire. Now let's move on to the orbs themselves now. Some of them deal more damage than others in certain different circumstances. Some of them have quite a few downsides with huge upsides. It doesn't really matter. You're going to build a strategy based around how you have your balls and such. At the end of the day, the more pegs you hit, the better your ball does. So it's not really a strategy per se based on your balls. It's just get a bunch of good balls and you'll do great. What you build your strategy around are your little trinkets, the items. If there's a trinket/item that does more damage if you have bombs, then generally speaking you want to get balls that create more bombs or trigger bombs more easily. If you get an item that does more damage if you hit more pegs or something like that, or that makes pegs stay around longer after you hit them once, you want balls that take advantage of that sort of thing. So the balls in themselves don't really specifically combo with each other outside of ones that specifically reference other orbs. Rather, you're most likely going to try and match your orbs with the trinkets you get. Now, the thing I want to talk about next are the boards. They are more thematic than ever. Back in the demo I played, they were thematic in some sense, but the new release / the newly released demo pushes that idea to 11. When you're fighting slime monsters, you will have a slime monster looking stage. If you're fighting lots of bats, you'll have a stage that looks like a bat, that sort of thing. And of course the bosses. Mwah! The bosses are amazing. The slime boss is no longer just a bunch of little dots. It's now looks like an actual slime monster. And when you get eaten by the slime monster, your ball, instead of launching from the outside into the slime looking series of pegs, they now launch from inside the slime series of pegs. It's even more thematic than ever now. Now, moving on from this, as you progress, obviously things are supposed to get harder. You fight enemies with more and more hit points as you go from the forest stage to the castle stage and so on and so forth. However, it's not actually that much harder, I find, at least personally. don't get me wrong, the individual enemies are definitely stronger than the individual enemies from the previous stages. There's no argument at all. Now, it's 100% possible I'm saying it feels easier because you get extra orbs that are upgraded, you get extra trinkets that make you deal more damage, that sort of thing. Absolutely, that is certainly a reason, an aspect to this. But another reason why I feel each fight is much easier by the end game is because there's way more pegs, way more moving pegs that bump your ball further upwards to avoid falling down into the pit and thus dealing more damage, hitting more pegs, more opportunities to bounce off and such. Even discounting the hit points and damage, I'm pretty sure each individual ball hits way more pegs at the final boss than it does potentially at the start game beginning. And that is a good thing in of itself, I suppose. You want to launch a ball and watch it go all crazy, hitting millions of pegs and making all those little sounds as it plinks off everything. That is good. And of course, there's something to be said about being able to destroy things by the end of game, by making you feel like a practical god as you kill everything in front of you. There's a certain appeal to it, of course. But it does, once again, like I said, feel a bit odd that the end game is easier than the start game. I suppose that's the point. It's not really a complaint per se, it's just an observation. Do I recommend Peglin to you? And I say maybe. At its current price point of $28.95, if you want to play a Peglin-like game, I fully recommend playing the demo first. And that's the beauty of this demo. I feel it's a very all-encompassing idea of the game already. You're not getting any huge surprises when you buy the full game compared to the demo. You just get more Peglin. You get to feel more powerful by the end of it. That's the only difference. So if you really like the demo and you're willing to fork over the current price point, which as of recording this, it's $28.95 in Australian dollars, then I say go for it. But otherwise, if you don't feel like you want any more of it, then there's nothing new here to see. There's nothing in the purchase version that's going to change your mind compared to the demo. It's just more of the same, for better or worse. And I love it. Anyways, that's my unscripted review of Peglin. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.